Okay.
Hi, my name is Yasmin Bitugu. I head Africa Global Radio. We are an online radio station based in Accra, Ghana, and we are totally into telling vibrant, empowering, inspiring stories on global Africa. We are so happy to be partners with the Gen X Bright Ideas Challenge because of the synergy. We call on all 18 to 30-year-olds across Africa to create, innovate, and be the change you wish to see. Remember, as we say at Africa Global Radio, our story, our growth, our future.
Hey guys, it's Eric Martin.
And I'm Kent Johnson, and we're the co-founders of Black and Abroad.
My name is AJ.
I'm T. Michael, based in Norway, Bergen.
Hi, I'm Lungi Morrison.
Hi guys, my name is Irene Logan.
Hi, my name is Lana Prempe.
My name is Ni Aitetete, and I'm from Accra, Ghana.
Hi, my name's Toye.
Yeah, this is Joseph Musa, aka Rasconscious.
And we want to make sure that you know that you need to be listening to Africa.
Africa Global Radio. Africa, we say fire, we say fire.
Hello, welcome to iSpace Foundation. My name is Favor Mauzichupu and I'm the operations manager at iSpace. iSpace is an innovation hub. We are based in Spintex, Accra, Ghana. We have a lot of programs that we run to support the entrepreneurial ecosystem. One of our initiatives is Unlocking Women and Technology program, focused on women who want to start up their businesses and who want to go into technology. We have Code School, is a software development training for 9 months. We have a special program for kids, educating them in STEM. Our awesome spaces are available with super fast internet. So we have our event space for your events and a conference room, fully equipped for your meetings and conferences. We also have our private offices for a team of 2 to 5. We have our community space and our private co-working space. Some of the events that we also organize are the one-on-one mentorship programs, bi-monthly hangouts and meetups. It's so much activity here at iSpace. To join our community, you can follow us on social media and we'll show you the next steps.
Hi guys, if you've joined, I'm just want to welcome you, just to give a few more minutes just while a few other people join. I'm just going to go to messages from our partners.
Hi, my name is Josiah Asen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of iSpace, an innovation hub based in Ghana, Accra. I'm very excited to partner with Bright Ideas 2020. So my role is just to bring mentorship support in the areas of business development, customer acquisition, marketing, and branding. I'm looking forward to supporting all the startups that applied, and where I can support you, I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
Great. So I just wanted to say welcome to everybody who's in the stream right now. My name is Shirley Inzet and I'm your host for today. I'll be kind of overseeing this session, the final Bright Ideas 2020 session with Desmond Wood, who's part of the team. So if there are any questions, can you please just let us know in the question box. We really hope this will be an interactive session. These Q&As are really designed for you, so please do make the most of it. Just an apology before we go ahead. I just want to apologize. I'm not on live today because I'm not feeling very well. So I'm streaming from a place that one does not broadcast in public. So can we just see who's in? If you're in, can you just kind of let us know, just register and check in with us. What's your name and where are you based and what you hope to gain from this session? Don't be shy, because I know some of you are reaching out privately, so it'll be really good to just get some engagement. I think Emmanuel, are you there? All right, cool. So I'm just going to move on. So in terms of the session, like I said, this session is really about yourselves and your questions that you have. Hi, hello, Mike. I saw a Mike from Ghana. Welcome, Mike. Welcome to the stream. Is this your first time here? If it is, don't let it be your last. Keep connected with us on our various social media channels, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. We also have, hello, hi, Emmanuel, how are you? Don't be shy, guys. Feel free to speak up. Like I said, these sessions are about you. Also, stay in touch with our Telegram group and our WhatsApp groups, which is where most of our information is shared. So just to move on swiftly, the agenda for today is we're basically going to talk a little bit about well, the purpose of this session, the ways to engage. We're going to do a small recap of Bright Ideas Q&A sessions 1 and 2. We're going to look at partners. Very exciting. We've got an exciting range of partners coming on board who support Bright Ideas, who you'll hopefully be able to get a chance to work with. So we're really excited about that. We're also going to be talking about social proof, so you can get some insights there, so you can sort of try and get ahead of the game. We're also going to be looking at the Partnering for Success model. And then there is a major announcement tonight. So, well, I'll tell you a little bit more a bit later. And then we're going to open the session for questions. And then we're just going to make sure you guys stay connected. Without further ado, I'm going to press on. Okay, so purpose of this session, really, it is the final session before submissions are due in by midnight tonight. So this is the last chance for you to get all your questions in. Please feel free to use this time. This is where we have dedicated time for you specifically. You know, we're here for you right now, so please make use of the time. I hope you have a better understanding of how to complete the submission templates. We covered that in detail last week. I talked a bit already about the special announcement. We already talked about the social proof, the Partnering for Success, and then obviously answering any specific questions that you have. So moving on to partners, I'm super excited to announce, like I said, we have an array of amazing, talented, you know, I would say very exciting partners that are coming on board to Bright Ideas. This should tell you, as the youth of Africa, that there is a lot of love and a lot of support. You know, people believe in the youth. This is their commitment to you by joining projects like this. They're letting you know that we're here to support you. Please, you know, pick up the mantle. Let's work together and let's move the businesses forward. So I'm going to move on. Partners that we have confirmed. We already announced Africa Global Radio. They are acting as a media partner. Super excited to work with the team. They're a fantastic team. They will also be covering the candidate story. So I hope you don't mind if you get interviewed. Tell them a bit about your experience. Obviously that you learned a lot. I'll be listening. No, just kidding. We've also recently confirmed the partnership with the Shesi Design Lab, which is an amazing honor, and also iSpace, which is a fantastic facility in Ghana. So really excited about that. Please stay tuned. We're going to be announcing more partners in the upcoming days. So please stay tuned. Can you guys just let us know, just get a bit of feedback? Are you excited about these partners? Who else do you want to see? I'm just interested. Who else do you want to see on the partnership role? And are you excited to work with these guys? Just give me some feedback. Come on, Emmanuel. Don't be shy. I'll take your silence as a tacit yes. I'm very excited anyway. So let's move on just so that we make the most of the time today. We're going to do a quick recap of Q&A 1 and 2. So I hope you'll bear with me. For those of you who weren't here, even for those who are here, maybe there are new questions that are coming up that you wish for us to address. So again, we'll just move forward. What is Bright Ideas? Like we said, we want to create economic opportunity and put the youth to work. And when I say work, I'm not talking just about the traditional job. I'm also talking about work, building the economy, creating jobs, building businesses, building ventures, working together to create new opportunities. That's what I'm excited about. We will find and fund an MVP. We'll talk a little bit more about what MVP means, the kind of project structure we'll be kind of supporting and that sort of thing. So that's a bit further on. So we'll go into that later. You'll also get the opportunity to work with mentors and coaches. These are people who, in my view, are some of the brightest minds on the in the landscape and the ecosystem. We're talking about people in academia, business, industry, and all that sort of stuff. We'll be giving you access to developmental opportunities, including, obviously training and on the skills, tools, tips, tricks. Working with people who built businesses before is a fantastic resource for helping you avoid mistakes. Obviously, there will be mistakes that you need to make to learn and grow as a person, but there's some mistakes you just want to avoid. So that's part of the value proposition, and you'll be able to build a network. Any questions so far? Emmanuel, great partners. Yes, I agree with you. I'm really excited, to be quite honest, very, very excited by this. So the price fund, as you can see, it says 750, but then on the other side it says win 1,000. So I'm just going to clarify this because a few questions have been asked about this. The cash prize is $1,000, and that is going to first place winner. However, we believe in being inclusive. So rather than just kind of say one person wins, we've decided to give a few other people the opportunity to continue that journey as entrepreneurs, to work with mentors, to understand how could I have done things better, how could I have tweaked things better, how could I have improved my pitch, what can I do personally, and that sort of thing. So I think it's a really good opportunity. As far as I'm concerned, once you're shortlisted, you're a winner, because I think the access to that information is really amazing, and it can start your journey on and continue your journey. So please feedback if you think that's a good thing, because I think that's a fantastic thing. And obviously it'll be good to also hear and see what you guys think in terms of what else you'd like to see as part of the prize. So moving on, let's talk a little bit about what we're looking for. So we're basically trying to enable social change through mentoring and education. We're looking for a pandemic-proof idea that respects the current lockdowns, etc. 30 days to design, build, and launch, and no more than the budget. Obviously, it should respect the budget, and the formal commitments we can just address when we talk about the partnering for prosperity. It should also be legal for the target jurisdiction, and it should be able to be something that can garner social proof online. I'm going to speed through the eligibility slide. Basically, yes, eligibility, we're talking about people who are resident between the ages of 18 to 30 in any of the 54 nations in Africa. Emmanuel, you've already joined a few of these sessions. I'm pretty sure you can recite some of this to us. The teacher's testing. your understanding. So yeah, I hope this is all clear. Do let us know if we need to clarify anything before we move on. Just let us know, because we're gonna move very quickly to the next section. Any questions, guys? None. Great. Okay, super. So I'm gonna move on. So again, this is the timeline. I think everyone knows where we are right now. The next step is the deadline, and then we do the shortlisting. These are the key dates. So if you note them, if you're attended the last session, you'll remember all of these. So it's just a reminder, okay? So I see a comment coming through. Yeah. Okay, good. Right. Any questions at the moment in terms of the timeline and anything I've covered to date? If there's any difference from what you expect, please let us know. If you're liking this, can you just do us a favor and just kind of give us a like the video, just so we know what works and what doesn't. It helps us. So please like the video and give us any feedback as well. Yeah. All right, so if there are no questions on here, I'm going to move on. So let's talk a little bit about what we went through in terms of the template. So I think the template session was really helpful. We talked about the business model canvas. If there are any questions there, I'd like to take them. Any questions at all? All right, so if there are no questions, I'm going to move on. Then we talked about the user personas. One question did come up last time. Ah, so Michael, that's a very good question. Do you want to tell us a little bit about why you need an extension, just so we can assess if there's a need? I'm just going to wait for your answer. And while I'm waiting for your answer, I'm just going to talk a bit about the next slide, which if you should see the screen, basically, yeah, I'm basically showing the user persona. So as we discussed last week, the user persona slide, you should duplicate it to reflect every type of person. So when I say reflect every type of person, I would say put the data of the archetypal customer. So if it's like a business owner or a mature person or a young person or that kind of stuff, just make the profile reflect the type of person who would use your service. Okay, so this is Michael's question. He says, is there going to be an extension to the submission date? So my question is, I'd like to know if other people think there should be an extension to submission date. Oh, I see. Wow, incredible. So Michael, how did you get to find out about the calendar? I'm curious to know. I actually think that, yeah, that could be something that we should consider. Well, let's, at the moment it's not planned, but please stay tuned, and we'll have to discuss this with the team. Okay. Right. So I'm just gonna get back to. Okay. And Michael, another good question. Thank you so much for submitting that. Yes, you can tender an already existing business. We're going to cover this when we get to the Partnering for Success section of the presentation. Desmond, I'm just checking with you. Is everything okay? You're so quiet.
Yes, everything is okay. I'm just observing.
Great, good stuff. Thank you. Okay, yeah, Michael, stay tuned. We're going to address that. Good question. Keep them coming. If this is useful and this is something you think other people would benefit from, please share the live right now, just to help other guys, because I think the more people that are involved, the more challenging it is, the more we'll learn from it as a process. So I'm going to get back to the slides. So the slides that we talked about last week were two archetypal people. Effie Boache was a consumer. She was a private consumer of our fictitious business. And also we talked about Kofi Mensah and why we thought he'd be a good fit as a customer as well. Now, we also then discussed the SWOT analysis. Before we get into the SWOT analysis, are there any further questions that I can pick up now? I'll just give it a few minutes. Just while you're thinking about your questions, I'm just going to talk a bit about, obviously, so your strengths and weaknesses were at the top. Those tend to be internal. Your opportunities and threats tend to be, the external things that, maybe market forces, laws, all that sort of stuff. So, so I think that was quite an interesting one for a lot of people to learn about. All right, I don't think there are any questions, so I'm going to move on. Then we also talked about the pestle analysis. So pestle is something that a lot of people hadn't come across before. A lot of these are related, so that's a good thing to think about. The advice. So last week we had Michael Atamens as one of the mentors. Very good feedback, very good input, talking about how to really get into the study of, how the political landscape can affect you, economic policy, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So really think about every single one of these. And yours truly, Michael, the question you just asked, if you just came across this yesterday, you may wish to visit the Q&A session 2, because it was very detailed. We went through everything in detail. So that will be really helpful to help you understand what the topics that have been discussed. I'm going to move on unless there are any further questions. So this was probably the least favorite, and I probably have the most questions about this. This is the cash flow statement. So I know it scares everyone. Really, what is important to remember about this is there is no right or wrong answer. Normally, if you're working with an accountant, they'll even tell you what to consider. They'll give you a chart of accounts. But I think in terms, prior to doing that, think about, your liabilities, your assets, obviously revenue streams, expenses, that sort of thing. And for example, this is just a template. So feel free, please, 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 to remove, add, modify to reflect the business that you're doing. Okay, that is really, really important. But what I want to see is obviously the different entries under different categories. And then on the columns, I want to see your projections really by month for the first, let's say, 6 months. If you can even get up to 3, that's fine. 3 is fine, because we're I think, quarterly approach, of course 6 will be better, but the further out something goes, the less it means less. It doesn't mean anything because the world changes so fast, right? So I think the first 3 months is really crucial, just to demonstrate that you've got a good understanding of the business and the flows of money and the cost as well. I've got a question here. Douglas, hello, welcome to the stream. That is a very good question. That has never really been something that we've kind of addressed in the Q&A. I would say that the main person needs to be there. You don't need everyone in a business to be present. We already have your CVs, your profiles. We would have your template that's submitted to us, so it's not necessary for every person in the team to be live there at the pitch. Only one person can speak anyway. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's not necessary, no. If there are no further questions, I'm going to move on with the next slide. We talked about team structure. Douglas, perfect, perfect timing. So for example, I said that you'd be submitting your team structure anyway. So we already have an idea who your team is, the roles that they're going to be holding, how they're going to be adding value to the development of the business. So they don't need to be at the live Q&A. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Of course, let me know if you need further clarification. I'm going to move on otherwise. So the next slide is talking about the execution plan. How am I doing for time? Okay, I'm hoping to close this quite soon. So the execution plan is really all the tasks that you think we need to do to roll this out based on your knowledge and understanding of the business, the things we need to prepare in advance. Part of it is also the 2-week prep is really sort of, sorting out your life, because I think that, depending on what you're doing, you may wish to put certain things on hold, clear your calendar. Hey guys, I'm about to start the new unicorn business. can't attend any parties for now, that sort of thing. So it's just kind of preparing yourself for what I would say is a very intense ride, because anyone who's built a business before, it's tough work. It's really hard work. So what I want to see here in the articulation of your execution plan is any preparation that you feel is necessary. So, all that kind of stuff, knowledge, anything you need to kind of read up on just to fill in any gaps in knowledge that you have. Um, that I kind of want to see that you're prepared, that you've thought about all the different steps, what we're going to be doing in the first 4 weeks of development. Do we need to do customer research? How are we going to do it? Who do we need to reach? What channels are we going to use to reach them, etc. So I do, and if it's longer than one slide, please duplicate this and move on to the next slide as well. This is just for illustration purposes only. Obviously, the milestones, you should describe per milestone, the goal that's been attained, or the milestone, basically description. And please put it in the context of the 4-week preparation and 4-week launch, because that's where I really want to focus, just to make sure that everything is as it should be. I'm going to move on. I'm going to press on unless there are further questions here. And finally, we've got the risk response plan. Now, this is quite an interesting one, because can I just have a show of hands who has actually dealt with risk before? If you've managed a risk register, if you have managed a risk response plan, I just want to know so I can talk a little bit, because I've had some questions about this and would like to just cover it a little bit again. I've still got a few more minutes before 1:30, so please. Mike, so Douglas has just asked another question. Consider, yes, of course you can apply. The eligibility is between 18 to 30 years of age, resident within any of the 54 countries in Africa. So yes, of course you can apply. Hope I've answered your question. Now let's talk a little bit about the risk response plan. So normally you would have a risk register and a risk response. And a risk response plan really gives further information about what the risk response is. So normally it'll be set out in the way that it's set out on the screen. So one of the examples that I've talked about previously is, for example, let's just say the pandemic, because one risk. So my understanding of risk, and everyone's different. I'm going to talk about it in terms of a risk professional, because that's what I've done. I'm a risk manager. Risk basically means a future uncertainty. Most people think it's negative. I have a slightly different opinion. So risk is a future uncertainty. A future uncertainty can convey either a benefit or a threat. Pandemic, let's just say you have a business, part of your business is online, part of your business is face to face. Pandemic can present an opportunity for the online side of the business, but a risk to the offline side of the business. So what you would then do, let's say column 1, you would say risk of global pandemic, which shuts down shops. You could say exploit. So for the online part of the business, you're going to exploit that. And the exploitation comes by way of your contingency plan, which is to increase stock in case there's a lockdown, and make sure that you've got people to deliver. So either you tap into a delivery or logistics partner, or you employ people to do that. Trigger will be world news, I guess, incidences of epidemics around the world. And you assign an owner who's going to make sure that that risk is being managed. Same thing. I know that the second entry is Amazon commission increases, but just ignore that. Let's just say, again, global pandemic shuts down. For the offline side of the business, you could say, well, actually, I want to avoid that. Well, I don't think you can avoid it. You can mitigate it. So what you can do is you can still keep part of the business going, but you could do social distancing measures. You can let people book appointments and all that, so it doesn't crush or kill that part of the business. What you could also do is push for the online activity to increase. So one event or trigger can give you both an opportunity and a threat. So think really carefully about the different things that could affect this business proposition that you're putting forward. I hope I've been clear with that, and I hope I haven't confused you too much with jargon. Please let me know if I need to go over anything. If not, I'm going to move on forward. Thank you so much. Right. So before we talk a little bit about social proof, I'm just going to go back to my partners because I think they're fantastic. And I know some of you missed the beginning, so please bear with me as we listen to Josiah Asen.
Hi, my name is Josiah Asen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of iSpace, an innovation hub based in Ghana, Accra. I'm very excited to partner with Bright Ideas 2020. So my role is just to bring mentorship support in the areas of business development, customer acquisition, marketing, and branding. I'm looking forward to supporting all the startups that applied, and where I can support you, I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Josiah. I'm back again. So before we delve into the next section, should we address any questions? Is there anything else that you want to ask me? I'm here. I'll just wait a few minutes before I move on. I'm all ears. Right. So that person with the logo, it's actually a real person. I guess we're having some technical issues with getting your picture changed, Desmond. It's actually a real person, people. So, Desmond, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, he's there with the whole family. Right, I'm gonna move on. Okay, fine. So, okay, super. Let's now talk a little bit about social proof. So, social proof is a really key part of the challenge. What it is, first of all, social proof is basically gaining approval from large groups of other people. So that is what you would call something that is viral. It's got approval. It's cool factor. It could be for purchases. So people say, "Wow, she's got it. I trust her. She's recommended it." Someone doesn't even have to recommend at times. Someone will see it and be like, "Oh my goodness, I love that," and they'll buy it. So it's basically the uptake of things, and it's kind of getting proof from the wider audience that yep, this product is good, this service is good. Just like Amazon does reviews, and that sort of thing. So that is social proof. There are going to be two phases during which social proof will happen. The first phase is after the submissions close. You're going to have 2 weeks in which to demonstrate your ability to create social proof. Now, I hope and I expect a lot of questions about this because this is your opportunity to get insights, right? We're going to talk get a bit deeper into social proof. So, think about any questions. What does it mean? How can I do it? How can I get started? How can I prepare for it? Start thinking now, just while I go through the slides. The second part of social proof is once the shortlists are done, if you are one of the candidates that are shortlisted, it would now be your time to go to the guys who haven't been shortlisted and to gain their buy-in. Interesting. I hope none of you are shy, because that is where you get to demonstrate your negotiation skills and your ability to answer the all famous "what's in it for me" question that most people will ask, and also just to create a win-win proposition for the person whose support you seek. So hopefully I'm going to get some questions on that. If you're racking your brains, I'm going to continue a bit on the slides, but just do feel free to drop the questions in and I'll try and answer them. I'm going to move on. Social proof is really, really key. It will count towards the final selection because I think it demonstrates business acumen, the ability to negotiate, the ability to market to people based on the value that you're selling to them. Now, I say it's important. So the question is, why is it important? Well, number one, it's a big part of the way business is done these days. Okay. like I said, on Amazon, if I'm on there and I see 5-star reviews, well, if I see only 5-star reviews, it's probably fake, but I think you understand what I mean. If I see fantastic reviews, comments, pictures, just the swell of excitement, I'm in. I'm in, because that is my social community telling me this is good, and I hope I can trust them. That's kind of how it works. Now, once you do that, it means that your marketing costs go down. Number one, because it's viral. Number two, because you don't have to convince anyone. A listing or a proposition becomes self-selling. Do you see what I mean? People actually seek you out instead of you having to pay someone to seek them out. So it affects your customer acquisition. Well, it reduces your customer acquisition costs and your retention costs. Okay, super important. You get direct engagement and feedback with stakeholders. I mean, as part of, the process when you're doing social proof. Normally people want to connect with you. People get obsessed with brands. I mean, last week I talked a little bit about Nando's and how their customers decided to go and protect the shops because they loved their shops so much. They went outside and stood outside them to protect them just so they wouldn't get vandalized. That is incredible. I think we can all learn from that. Sorry, you get instant feedback. So as part of the social proof, as the key stage, once we're doing it, you get instant feedback from your would-be customers, so you know how to improve, tweak, things that you might want to build into further innovation, rounds as you go along. So just the iterations and that sort of stuff. And basically you get an extended support system capable of sustaining the business in the long run. Some people, I'm an Apple girl, for example. I don't even care whether Samsung has done this or whatever. I'm Apple all the way. They bought me. What can I everything's on Apple. I bought all their software apps, and the investment is so huge. I can't even change right now, even if I wanted to. So I'm in. That's it. I'm committed. So if you're able to get people in as well through the social proof, they're communities that share and love your products. They share and talk about your service, and they enthuse about it. So that is all part of creating social proof and keeping in people in, well, taking people along with you as you build your brand and you build your story. Any questions? Because I'm talking a lot. Why we want to see people perform in terms of the social proof during the process? It displays business savvy, business acumen. It shows that you can market, you can communicate, you can negotiate. It allows you as a business owner to really think about who is your customer, how do I reach them, what do I say to them, what is really triggering them. Understanding how to serve your customer makes you a fantastic business person. It displays critical thinking. It allows you to leverage platforms that are free to use, for organic marketing opportunities, and it allows you to stay in control of the narrative. For example, people cringe at the fact that Donald Trump has got a Twitter account. Every day, I'm sure they're freaking out, but that's his way of, staying in touch with his people. So we want you to be not shy. We want you to take up the challenge and to get out there, meet your customer, and just put it out there so that you can start building that social proof. Right. Some of the questions that came up about social proof, I don't want to flog a dead horse. So if there's too much on social proof, I just thought that it would be something that you guys would want to know a little bit more about, because it's the next step, really. So someone asked, how important is it on a scale of 1 to 10? It's extremely difficult to plot on any scale, really. I would say that it's above 50%, right? If you demonstrate you've got good social proof creation skills, that's a real plus. The other thing is, there was a question about not being a social animal and can we bypass this. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's like being an actor who doesn't like to act or be in front of the camera. I think you can answer that question yourself. I think that this is an opportunity to step out of one's comfort zone and to do things you've never done before, to learn things you've never done before, to actually see if you can enjoy it. Because obviously if you do well with it, you're going to love it. Normally people love what they're good at, right? So I'm going to go on to the last social proof question. There was a question about, oh, well, if we're doing social proof, are we giving away our IP, intellectual property, or giving away our idea? And it'll be interesting to see what you guys think. If you could just comment below just kind of what you think about this, because everyone's got very different ideas, and it'll be just nice to know what you guys think. Do you think it's do you think there's intrinsic value in an idea alone? I shouldn't well, I've got my answer there. So you know what I think. Personally, I think there's no intrinsic value in an idea. A lot of people, it's very important to protect an idea, and that is why we have intellectual property. That's why we have the law, so you can take enforcement action against someone who infringes. That being said, it is not uncommon that two people think of the same idea independently, because most ideas are related to problems. And if two people are experiencing the same problems, they might have different ways of solving it, but they could also have the same. So it's very hard to prove someone's copied something. That's one thing. Secondly, I think that where the value is created is in the sort of building, delivery, and maintenance of a service or a product. So the idea itself for me, like if I said to you, hey, my name is Jeff Bezos, I'm going to create an online marketplace, that's an idea, but it doesn't mean anything, right? Because there are many online marketplaces that are not getting any traffic at all, and they're beautiful and amazing. They just missed a trick, right? So that's my view. It'll be interesting to know what your views are. That is a very good question, Richard. Welcome. Thank you for that submission. If you have a good idea and you don't, you've just proved my point, right? So having an idea doesn't make a business. The value is created in the realization of that idea, in the marketing of that idea, in the uptake, in the adoption of the idea, in the maintenance. Because idea is just, okay, that's good, it worked. Then as you start building the idea, you'll find out you'll have to change a lot of things because it may not work in the real world. So a lot of it, the idea, and then even if you've got a fantastic business, right, 2 years down the line, you've done something wrong, you didn't listen to your customer, business is finished because maybe you did something bad or you didn't listen to their requirements, someone else came and bumped you off the market. So an idea is, I would say, a small part of a very big puzzle. Now, in terms of answering your specific question, how to make, you have an idea, right? You don't know how to monetize it. I think that you should submit anyway. I think that you should have an idea of how to monetize it. And if I think it would be good to if you don't know fully how to monetize it, I mean, you must have some idea about whether it's profitable or not. So for example, if you said to me, I'm gonna sell air to people, I think we all know that that's not gonna work. So if you have an idea, you must have some sense of how it is of benefit to people or how people would want to buy that idea. Now, whether you know the full extent of the ways in which you can monetize it is a different topic. So I think that at least articulates a way in which it conveys a benefit to someone, a benefit that is worth or worthy of their dollar, let's say. Now, what we can do as a team is to look at the idea, closer and really understand ways in which we can develop the revenue around that. There's so many ways, really, even with an Instagram account, you'll be surprised by how many opportunities there are to monetize. There's so many, and you'll be surprised by how few people know how to monetize an Instagram account. And I'm not just talking about, paid, there's so many, I call it online real estate, right? So what may not seem obvious to you might be obvious to someone else, which is why we're setting up all these partners to help you really understand ways in which you can explore ways to create revenue and that sort of thing. So don't let that put you off, but at least try and find a way. If it's profitable, articulate the way in which you think it is profitable. Don't let that put you off. I hope I've answered your question. I'm moving on. So in terms
Sorry,
of social proof being the key step
Shelly?
now, I think that in terms of
Shelly?
preparation, I think you guys should prepare for it because it's coming. It's the next step. So be ready. Okay. You've now gone through that process of, okay, I've got my idea. I've articulated it. I've put what I think is the business, finance, resources, teams, all that sort of. You're now moving to an area of, wow, okay, how do I get it out there? So, and that takes a lot of thinking. So, what I would say, the preparation for that is consider who you need to reach and how you're going to reach them. If you're going to reach them via traditional media, you need to start looking at who best serves that cohort or that demographic. If it's online, social media is amazing because it's cheap and it's really leveled the playing field. When I say it's cheap, actually it's not. It's very expensive. It depends whether you're doing organic or whether you're doing paid advertising. Paid advertising can cripple you if you don't get it right. And also, like obviously very low return on investment if you don't get it right. So if you're on social media, consider which platforms serves which demographic, which tools, because there are many tools, which dates and times, because different people come on at different times. For example, if you serve millennials, they might come on a bit later, maybe in the summer because they're not working. Just understand your customer, right? And understand how they use the internet. So that is all important because you want to capture their attention when they're on. Never discount your friends and family. So when you're looking at social proof, friends and family, don't look past them. They can help. They've also got, friends and family and networks. So that's important. That's the easiest thing to tap into. Think of other people's networks. If you consider that the Gen X experience 4 weeks ago didn't really have any social media feed, we were using Ocasio, which we didn't really push. We've kind of tapped into a few other networks, and they have a sort of wider distribution or wider reach than we do. So think of who you can partner with as a strategic partnership to get access to certain people. Oh, please, just let me know that I haven't lost you guys on the way and you're still following. Just tap into the comments and just let me know that you're still with me. I ended this slide with your network is your net worth. So it's really about looking at who can help you get to the first, step. Because normally once you take the first step, it can mushroom as long as you're going along the right route. Any questions before I move on to the next section? Just let me know in the comments and we can try and address any questions before we move on.
Shelly?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, so I think also as we are trying to get our questions answered, and today is the final day for submission, we continue to provide you other support. So even if this session ends and there is something that's not clear, you can always contact us and we'll be available to help you out.
Yeah, great. That's so true. Absolutely. So we're here in a supporting role. It's really down to you guys now. We're here to kind of get you through the process, through the funnel. I've been speaking to a few of you. I'm sure Desmond has as well, because we've been talking to a few guys on the groups. We're here to support you and pick up any questions that you have. They're going to be logistical questions about, oh my goodness, I don't have this document. I'm sure some of you have come across that. Just ask the question and we'll find a way around it. Thanks, Desmond. Right. I'm going to go back talking a bit about partnering for prosperity. So this section explores how people and candidates can partner for prosperity. The joint venture partnership model offers flexibility that allows people with existing businesses as well as those without existing businesses to partner with us on bright ideas. So this was a question that came up. So I hope I think it was Michael that answered that question. If I got that wrong, let me know. So we're gonna go through. It's an infographic that was published yesterday. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. That was published on our Telegram group. So if you're not a member, yeah, Emmanuel, thank you for checking in, guys. Please let us know you're still with us. You know, and do let us know if you do have questions. If we're going too fast, if you need any clarification, that sort of thing. Just put your hands up and ask us, and we'll try and address the queries. So this the infographic that is on the left was published yesterday on our Telegram group and on our social media. I think it didn't look very good on the Instagram, so I put it in stories, but it was still too long, so it's fine. We have it available. If you want us to send it to you, we'll give you just follow our social media, ask us a question, and we'll try and answer your queries. So we're going to talk a little bit about that now. We're going to talk, I think we're going to talk about someone with an existing business, because someone without an existing business is very easy. Either way, it's the same model. We're going to be using a joint venture project model that offers flexibility. What does that mean? All right, let's move on. So Mercy has a business, okay? She has a milkshake delivery business and would like to explore a sugar-free range that she feels will sell well among the health conscious. Sounds like a good plan. Okay, money-wise, she does have the capital, right? But she feels, well, you know, why would I spend my own money when I can grow my business? And Bright Ideas is offering a bit of cash, so I don't have to invest because I don't want to lose my money. I think I'm going to apply for the Bright Ideas and see if I can get some extra cash. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so swift action leads to victory. You know what I said before in session 1? Fortune favors the brave. Just do it. Just like Nike, just do it. She applies and wins. Amazing. If only it was that easy. So she wins, and we then kick off a JV, joint venture project, with Bright Ideas 2020. And the project, which is how we will work going forward, is to design, build, and launch a sugar-free range of milkshake. Now, whether we call it Mercy's business or whatever, it does not matter, right? It's part of her business, but it's a product line under her business. So I basically hold a stake in that specific product line. So the project will be part of, you know, the development of that, you know, the naming, the branding, all that kind of stuff. And all the finances, costs, expenses, all that will be held separately. I don't think that's very different from how any business runs projects versus business as usual, BAU. You set up a project organization, you do all the finances separately, you account back to finance, overall finance, and all that sort of stuff. Once the project is delivered, whatever output comes out of it can be rolled back into Mercy's original business as BAU. So now that is business as usual. But what remains is that it becomes a profit sharing model. So I have a stake in that product line alone. I hope that's really clear. So if it's not clear, guys, please let me know. So future to business development, she took the opportunity, she's won. We set up the project, as I said, we run it as a separate from existing BAU, okay? Once it's complete, the project outputs rolls back into her business as a new product line with a profit sharing model. I hope that's clear. Smart business always wins. Mercy's risked no capital, but by partnering for prosperity, she's allowed her business to grow and enjoys a healthy percentage of profits generated by the joint venture. The sponsor risks, that's me, 100% of my capital should it fail. But, you know, I'm a positive person and I do things thinking that they're going to work. So as part of my taking the risk, I enjoy a certain percentage of profit with Mercy, and this is the win-win model that we refer to, or that I refer to as partnering for prosperity. Let me know if this is clear. If there's any further explanation that's needed, especially for those of you who have existing businesses, you may have some concerns about how this actually works. Okay. As there are no questions, I'm going to proceed. If you do have a question, if you have a very long question, you're typing it, keep going. When it comes, I will address it, but I'm going to keep moving on at this time. So we're going to talk a bit about the FAQs for Partnering for Prosperity. So one of the questions was, I have an existing business, can I still apply? Absolutely. I've given the answer just previously with the infographic that we've just gone through. Another one, does the proposed equity apply to my existing business if I have one? No, it doesn't. It applies to the product line. I'll just come out of presentation mode. Yes, Richard, you have a question, feel free to answer and I'll be happy to address. Hello, Felix. Hi. Felix, welcome. Thank you for joining. Just let us know where you're joining in from. Richard, I'm just waiting on your question. Right. So, if there are no further, Richard. Okay, no. Seriously, if you have any doubts at all, now would be the good time to ask, because we're actually going into Q&A. So, open for questions, guys. If you have any questions, this is the time. That is such a good idea, and I don't see why you can't. Question is, can I still partner with a candidate that has a good idea but couldn't win? So I think what I understand by that is they've not been shortlisted, but you then want to bring them on board. This is exactly why we designed the social proof thing, right? If you're shortlisted, so second part of social proof is you go to someone and you say, hey, I know you didn't make it, but why don't you join? You've got fantastic skills. I see what you've done. My idea was better. No, I'm kidding. Why don't you join my team? Absolutely. I think that's the whole point of having the Telegram group. It's designed so that you guys, the new generation of business builders, get to meet and work with one another. It's only by working with each other you learn your skills, your weaknesses, and that sort of stuff. That's the whole point, is to encourage you to work together. So the answer to your question is yes. I think that's a fantastic. Desmond, you wanted to say something?
Yes. What was asking was, should, let's take, he has a business A, right? And business A doesn't make it to the live pitch, but they are able to kind of iterate on their project. And would Bright Ideas still be willing to partner with them if they still have the potential without making it to the live pitch? I think that's what he wanted to find out about.
Okay, so let me get you right. I just want to make sure. So let's just say 100 people, 6 people get through, and a 7th person says, I didn't get through. Are you saying, would I then work with the 7th person separately?
Yes, something like that, based on feedback and iteration.
Yeah.
Is this something you consider if they bring a proposal? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting question. I would say that part of the the kind of mentoring network we're building up is so that people can, as you say, iterate, get better, improve, fine-tune. I think that as part of Bright Ideas 2020, my priority will be working with the winner, because they deserve it. Like, they, if they've won, they need to get my full attention. It doesn't mean that I won't, talk to the other person, because you know, as a mentor, I feel that it's kind of part of my duty to help that person, you know, but obviously I won't be able to fund it in the way that I'm putting the money up for the first place winner. I hope I've answered the question. Yeah, Desmond, you got it right. Lots of questions now. Okay, I'll take them one at a time. So our social impact businesses welcome businesses that are not geared towards profit. Um, I think that a business or an operation needs to be able to fund itself. So if there's a way to get a funding model that sustains it, rather than being profit hungry, I mean, yeah, it definitely needs to have a way of sustaining itself. So it needs to have a funding model. I'm not averse to it, but it needs to be well thought out and have that, you know, as part of the model, so to speak. Yours truly, Michael. I hope I've answered your
Sorry,
question.
just to add something.
Mm-hmm.
Just to add something to what Shirley said regarding the social impact businesses. I think what you can do, Michael, is to look at social enterprise models and look at how best can you factor that social enterprise component into your social impact business. I feel that's one way because now businesses, even social impact project, it's all about sustainability, right?
Yeah,
It's not all about donation and donor impact. No, it's
exactly.
about how do you make yourself sustainable. So think about social
Yeah. Um, Desmond, we may have lost you. That's a very, very good point, actually, because especially now with this pandemic where budgets are definitely going to be constrained, you know, I'm not quite sure what the future holds in terms of funding as we go forward. So I think you should do some research on that side. I think that's a very, very good point to make. I'm going to move on to the next question. Richard, just before we move on, sorry, Michael, just before we move on, just let me know if I've answered that and whether you need any further clarification. So I'm going to take Emmanuel's question right now. Is there a chance for myself to partner with a good project that didn't win? I think I did answer that. Desmond kind of asked that for, you know, he clarified that, provided some clarity in terms of the question. I think in the immediate term, I would be focusing on the winning project and trying to make that happen. Uh, the people who fell into the second, third, fourth, fifth place, third, fourth, fifth place, would work with other coaches to get some support, right? But I wouldn't be working with them direct. That doesn't rule out that I may, you know, once this first place business is launched, it doesn't rule out that I might not work with you in the future. So I think it's really important to just keep the journey going. You know what I mean? I hope I've answered your question. Do let me know if I need to clarify anything further. I'm going to go to the next question. Can one team member be above 30? Yours truly, Michael. Please let me know how old the team member is. There is on the Q&A, we put the FAQ out. There is some flexibility around that. It really depends how old they are, because I think that if it's too different, it will disadvantage some of the guys who are kind of within the age range. But let me know how old they are, and I'll give you a more targeted answer. I'm going to move on to Richard. So Richard, in the I think it's a submission form, there's all the information about the stake. So in terms of the funds, the hold on, let me step back a bit. The total prize money is $7,500, and that comprises different categories of prize. So some of them are the value you'd get from mentoring, and if you're paying a mentor a certain amount of money, that sort of thing. So that's kind of the package. Now, the first prize is awarded just to the first place winner, and that's $1,000. In terms of the stake, the stake is, I think it's 50. It's negotiable, but it was 55 as a proposal of the project, not the existing business. So I hope that answers your question. It is negotiable because we want to see what, you know, you're negotiating with. The sponsor is basically taking 100%. Well, they're basically funding the whole thing. It's like 100% risk goes to the sponsor. If it goes badly, sponsor loses everything. If it goes well, the sponsor gets, I suppose it's beyond the 50, it's a 5% extra for the risk that they're taking. So I think that's quite fair. So I hope I've answered your question. Welcome back, Desmond. Emmanuel, you're very welcome. I'm going to move on to Felix. Richard, if
Thank
I
you.
haven't answered your question, yeah, hi, Desmond. If I haven't answered your question, just please let us know if you need any further clarification. And like Desmond said earlier, if we don't get all the questions through this time, we're still on Telegram, we're still on social media. You can connect with us anytime. So I'm going to Felix. Oh, okay. Am I audible, guys? Desmond? It might have been that my finger was on the... let me just turn up my volume. Right, volume's dialed right up, so I hope I'm audible. Okay, Felix, thanks for letting me know. I'm going to move on to Richmond. Does partnering with iSpace mean a winning business gains working space benefits with them also? Very good question. Very good question. So, Richard, yes, the understanding is that iSpace will work with you for, we have a kind of contracted amount of hours that they're going to be working and supporting candidates. And that is aimed basically like, so for example, every package is different. So if I'm working with the winner, we have a different package. If I'm working with a runner-up, we have a different package. So iSpace are contracted to work with the winner for a certain number of hours, and I'm assuming that they'll be working with you in a normal sense. So access to working space for a limited amount of time. I hope that answered your question. But to be quite honest, I think the key value add with the partners are the mentoring and the coaching that they can provide, the critical thinking, the design thinking, the sort of potentially alerting you about weaknesses and how to improve that and that sort of thing. But do check the candidate welcome pack because it's got a breakdown of the prize packages and what the runners up and the winners are getting as part of that. I hope I've answered your question. Yours truly, Michael. Maximum number. Sorry, Desmond, do you want to pick this one up?
I wanted to throw some more light on the earlier question regarding iSpace.
Mm-hmm.
So, as part of them mentoring you, you benefit from their virtual office benefits as well, and that's something that comes with their mentorship programs. So, I don't know if that kind of clarify the office space thing, but it's a virtual. But as Shirley said, it's also based on what the first person is getting, what the second person is getting, which I think it's detailed in the candidate handbook. Or
Yeah, very good point. Actually, what I will do, I'll share that for those of you who don't have the candidate, because I'm aware some guys are coming to this fresh. So it's basically Jenny, US candidate welcome, and you can take a closer look at the packages, the breakdowns, the categories, etc. But yeah, keep the questions coming. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to what's the maximum number of members in a team? Desmond, you want to pick this one up?
Yes, so ideally it's four people in a team for the max. We can also have individual entry, but we are really engaging collaborative effort. So maximum is 4, minimum is 1, and then try and be as balanced in terms of gender and background as possible.
Yeah, that good point there. Cool. Okay, Michael, I hope we've answered your question. Benedicta, it says yes, please. Was that referring to anything? Oh, I think it was referring to whether the question's been answered. Okay, that's great. Let us okay, we're gonna move on. Douglas. That's a very good question. It's actually addressed in the submission form. So technically, we should be able to launch and run operations for the first month with the budget. Now, it depends on what that discrepancy is. If the discrepancy is, say, I don't know, an extra 1,000 potentially, yeah, I'm looking at that, because the aim is that the business should be paying for itself in the first few days, well, first month, 30 days of operation. That's aggressive. That's extremely aggressive, because we know Amazon it wasn't profitable for years. But that is because also they it's the way they structured their finance. They did a lot of R&D and that sort of stuff. So, we're not going for anything as complicated or as large as Amazon. We want something that's simple, easy to execute, easy to launch, fast to launch, hopefully low risk or well managed risk. So yeah, I'm open to adding more funds, but it really depends on the proposition and whether I feel that it's got legs with a bit more funds. I hope that answers your question. Cool. Okay. Okay. Yes, of course. Now that is talking about the personas, I believe. So I'll just go back to the persona slide and talk a little bit about the user persona. So here we go. This is something we discussed at length last week. So the archetype, are you referring to the field, or are you referring to, when you should create a new persona? I'm assuming you're referring to the field. If you could just let us know, Benedicta, then I'll be able to answer your question more appropriately. In the meantime, yeah, Benedict, just confirm your question and I'll be able to answer. In the meantime, yours truly, Michael, is I was just curious to know which other language would you wish to submit it in, without making any assumptions. I'll go back to Benedicta. And also, if any of you guys want to kind of, well, oh. So I'm just waiting on Benedicta and yours truly, Michael, just to kind of explain better their questions. Also, Douglas, I hope I answered your question. En français. Hey, Desmond, how's your French? Fancy reading and translating and...
Yes, yes, we can provide you, yours truly, Michael, a French support.
What?
Hello, Shelley.
How's your French? How's your
Shelley.
French? Yeah, can you hear me?
Michael, we can provide you with some French support. So just reach out to us and let's work through that. Yes, let's work through that. We can provide you some French support.
That's interesting. Do you speak French? Tu parles français? Desmond.
Shelley, yes, I did French Def 1, Def 2. So
For how many weeks? 2 semaines. I'm trying to practice my French right now. My French is really bad. C'est mauvais, mauvais, mauvais. Because I forget everything. Like, I don't use it. I love French. But listen, you know what, Michael? Don't let that stop you. Put it forward and let's see what we can do. Because at the end of the day, It's a Pan-African challenge. Francophone is just as important as English. So let's see what we can do. Right, Des? Better brush up on
Yes,
that French.
definitely. We are here for you, Michael.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, cool. All right, next question, Benedicta. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Okay, so the archetype basically is, let me just flick back just so everyone knows what we're talking about. I'm just going to flick back for everyone's benefit. Okay, so we're talking about the user personas and we're talking about the archetype, right? It's the last, just before the sort of personality traits. So the archetype is something you would, how would you describe this person? So for example, we gave Effie Boache, we said we described her as she's professional, trendy, modern. You've kind of got an archetype. You can say, you can even say if someone's super nerdy, you know, very clean cut, they're into all the sort of like I don't know, tools like automated tools like smart body weight weighing systems and stuff. You can kind of describe them as oh yeah, that's an interesting one. Tech, you know, tech obviously, I think it goes beyond tech savvy, but just very data driven. You know, there's a certain archetype, there's a certain personality trait you get with a certain person. So I think it really depends on who you're trying to describe. I would say don't get too bogged down on the word choice of words you use. Try and describe them as much as possible, just to give an idea of the kind of person that you think you're trying to describe. You will get the opportunity to explain that in the pitch anyway. I hope that answers your question. It's really hard to, you know, for Effie, we just said professional, trendy, modern, and that kind of fits her. You know, she's a professional. She's, you know, kind of with it in terms of trends. If you look at the brands she supports, it's the Nikes, it's the Apples, Amazons, Ubers. She's up on it. You know what I mean? She's keeping up with the trends. We went for Kofi. We said he's entrepreneurial. He's all about design. I mean, look at him. You know, he's gorgeous. Even the glasses, perfectly clean shaven. Well, obviously a bit of a beard there, but just super clean. So it's all about design for him and all that kind of stuff. So I just think don't worry too much about the words, but more what the words convey. I hope that answers your question. Ah, interesting. So, Michael, so that sounds more like a statement than a question. Please let me know if there's a question attached to that. I don't see that someone being in a different country as a problem. I mean, I'm not in the same country as Desmond, but we work together. So, um, you know, if there's a question in there, do ask it, and I'll try and address that. Okay, fantastic, Benedicta. Just out of interest, okay, so we're running about 1 hour 17 minutes now. It would be quite good to try and bring this to a close, but I just want to make sure that all your questions have been answered. So I'm gonna try and move a bit forward. Um, if your questions are done, if you've got no more questions, this is kind of what we've been doing at the moment. There is a major announcement this evening. So we request, please, if you would, that you connect with us on our Telegram feed, which is where all the news is posted. I'm going to send you that now, just so that you can connect with us now. Also, please, we do send a lot of messages on our social media. So if you could just follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whichever one you're on, whichever you prefer, you've got a good choice. Pinterest is probably the least, let's say, populated, but the rest, the key ones, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, we do post there. So please pay attention. There is a major announcement coming tonight. There's a lot of suspense around that, but please stay informed because it might have an impact on the submissions that you make today. If there are any more questions, please just ask them. If not, I'm going to bring the session to a close. It's been a good session, lots of questions today. Last time was kind of quiet. Like I said previously, if you haven't watched Q&A 1 Q&A 2, we have it on the YouTube channel, so just find that. It's one of the videos that we have. It goes through the template in detail. If you want, I can also send you the slides that I just showed. That has also been I can send that to you in a PDF form. So if you want that, just connect with us on Telegram, ask, and we'll post that to you. I also talked about the infographic that explained about partnering for prosperity. If you want that as well, again, Telegram, if you want that, we'll send that to you as well. And I think that is about it. Like I said, stay connected. Connect to our news channel, our social media. Any questions we've not answered now, obviously the candidate package is still there. So I think I shared that already. I'll just share that again, just in case you've not had a chance to look at it. So that's at the bottom. geni.us candidates welcome. And really, really, really important, the Telegram group, geni.us/GenX News. We're on there. We provide support. We have check-in hours, office hours, surgeries, however you call them. Benedict would like to have the PDF. Fantastic. Anybody else who wants the PDF, I've just shared the news channel. Just connect with us there. Or even, when you connect on the news channel, if you drop into the chat channel, you could just connect with us there. And okay, fine. So Benedict, if you're not on the group, let me give you the chat. So to ask for the PDF, just if you can access this link, you can either download Telegram, or you could just use the web Telegram, so you don't have to download an app. geni.us/GenX and just ask for the link. We'll send you the file, and you could just kind of look at it at your own leisure, just understand it a bit better. There are a few questions about that, so it's good to have for reference sake. And I think that brings us to the end of this session. I would like to thank Desmond for providing support, good answers, and good input. I'd like to thank all of you who have made time to join today, who've asked questions, who've been active. Really appreciate that. Really would appreciate it if you could just like this video, subscribe to the channel so you get news when we are on live again. We might have some insights for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, really, for joining. Thank you. Guys, we're really excited about this. We're doing so much work behind the scenes to make this a good thing. So we just really appreciate you being part of Bright Ideas, and we hope that we can make it something really cool and informative for everybody. Please like the video, like I said, connect with us on the Gen X chat on Telegram, and we're there to support you. Okay, so without further ado, thank you everyone. Have a good rest of weekend, and we'll speak again soon. Okay, Desmond, any final words?
Yes, Shelley.
I love putting you on the spot.
Thank you all I was actually typing that out. Shelley?
Yeah.
Shelley?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I was actually typing it out.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate. So the deadline to further notice is tonight at 11:59. Also, watch out for a special announcement today on our channels and social media handle. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good rest of weekend. Bye.